one of the most destructive things to any relationship, business, or even aspiration is the ego. So I spend a little bit of time talking on this. Now, I'm not going to do it justice in this short period of time. It's definitely something worthwhile studying further, and hopefully we'll have the time to get into it a little bit deeper down the line, and maybe even have some deep conversations with your Revenue Blitz community around this topic. So what I want to talk to you about today specifically is ego justification. Right? Now, why this is important is because by now you'll probably see that you might have had a few challenges here and there in actually having the champion conversations with those clients of yours. So what ends up happening, and what ego justification is any excuse the mind can possibly come up with as to why you won't, shouldn't, or can have this conversation. Okay? So this is ego justification. I'm going to continue to nail that home in your head so that you can get that it's not you, and most of those excuses you've come up with, or those ego justifications, are not true. Okay, so what the ego is called is, it's also called the illusory self, right? It's the false sense of you. And what the ego has a tendency to do is look for all the reasons why you shouldn't do something that oftentimes is in your best interest. I like to think of the ego sometimes as the devil on your shoulder, right? So here's a simple one, right? You know you need to go to the gym. Your commitment is to work out, to get into great shape, and to be fit. And what the ego will tend to do is sometimes you'll hear in the back of your head, you'll hear that voice going, "I'm just too tired tonight. I'll just go tomorrow." Right? Ego justification, not in your best interest. So that's one example. Another example would be, here's how it tends to show up in these conversations. I don't think I'm really ready to have these conversations with my clients yet because I don't have a good enough relationship with them yet to have this. I say that's all the more reason to have this conversation with that particular client. Here's another common one I hear. I feel like I'm bothering my champion or my client by calling and having this conversation with them. I can tell you that your client, your champion, and all of the people that I would say 99% of the people that are sitting in your client seat before you, all of those people that have had this conversation done with them are excited, are flattered, and will actually see their relationship with you as a much deeper one as a result of this conversation. So by no means would you be bothering your client or your champion. So what I want you to notice, let's just keep this conversation real simple. What I want you to notice are the excuses that come up in your mind as to why you shouldn't, can't, or won't have this conversation with your champions or your clients, right? So think about what those excuses are and be very careful, because here's the thing with the ego. It's very smart and it's very tricky. It's very good at convincing you that whatever that excuse is the truth. And I'm here to tell you that it's not. And it's going to get in your way every time. When you can get beyond it, it's amazing what you'll be able to accomplish as a result of getting beyond those ego justifications.